I'm Will Weissert. I'm a national political reporter for the Associated Press in Washington, and I'm helping to cover the 2024 presidential campaign. Marianne Williamson is a self-help author. She's a best-selling author. She's written many, many books and sold a lot of copies. She was at one point Oprah Winfrey's spiritual guru. And she also ran for president in 2020 in the Democratic primary and was a real long shot to start. Dropped out before any actual votes were cast, but really managed to capture a lot of national headlines and a lot of attention from voters, potential voters. And one of the sort of breakout moments she had was during a debate when she talked about how love and spiritualism could help the country sort of overcome the forces of hate and negativity that she really blamed on then President Donald Trump.
If I always say the Republicans don't walk their talk, but the Democrats don't talk our walk. We need to say what we believe and not apologize for it. And that's what I think makes people insecure sometimes. Why should it be considered too far left to say that, in fact, we should be a government of the people, by the people, for the people?
She's back again. She's running in 2024. Her main driving force is she sort of wants to be a kind of Bernie Sanders-like insurgent candidate. She supports Medicare for all under a single-payer government system. She's calling for a national minimum wage, and she says basically that inflation can be combated by making sure that there's a crackdown on corporate profits and stopping things like price gouging from big corporations. She has talked about invoking the image and the memory of FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, in terms of calling for a major education package and increased spending on healthcare and social spending to sort of lift up people, and really see the government take a much more active role in promoting social welfare. She's also, much more of an isolationist opposed to sort of military actions around the world, much more so than, a more moderate Democrat like, President Biden, who's been, quite supportive of the war in Ukraine in supporting Ukraine against that war with Russia.
Are you really going to trust the status quo one more time? Really? At what point do we say enough is enough? And you're willing to go back to the traditional values of the Democratic Party, which is unequivocal advocacy for the working people of the United States, not just
So Marianne Williamson faces a number of challenges towards winning the nomination. Obviously running in the same party as the sitting president is difficult under any circumstances. And she's really not only facing President Biden, but also facing a Democratic National Committee that is completely unified behind Biden. They're not planning to do any debates to potentially give a national audience to any of Biden's challengers, and they have basically said that they're not interested in helping any other candidate who's not Biden raise money or raise profile or anything like that. We've also seen a couple of major staffers have already left her campaign. Her fundraising numbers, it's still early yet, but she has not raised money, at least in the early going, as much as she did in 2020 when there was sort of the curiosity factor there. So it's going to be a bit of an uphill climb. But what she says is that if you look at polls, and this is true, a lot of voters and even a lot of Democrats say they'd rather not see President Biden run for president again. Now that he is running, they could potentially be looking for alternatives. But what the White House says is that any other Democrat who gets into the race potentially could weaken Biden and help somebody like President Trump, who's running for the Republicans.
We need a plan to solve institutionalized hatred, collectivized hatred, and white nationalism. And in order to do that, we need